On average, people spend about 3 hours and 43 minutes on their phone on a daily basis. And most of that time is spent on a thing we call social media. And you know what's even crazier? That's just the screen time on your phone. So between scrolling through hours of TikToks that you barely remember to binging the next Netflix show, that leaves us with an average of 7 hours of daily screen time. Which is kind of concerning because if you think about it, spending 7 hours of screen time on the daily for a year is equivalent to 3 whole months. And doing what? Watching your quote-unquote friends' stories that you haven't even seen, hung out with, or even talked to in the last 3+ years? I'm gonna have to pay my bills. So today's sponsor is Vessi. Since I'm trying to lessen my time on social media and staring into the abyss, I've been trying to go out more so I can touch some grass and stretch my bones, since they've been cracking a little bit more than I'd like to admit. But you know what's even worse? Every time I try to go out, it's raining. And you know what's even worse? Those big puddles in the sidewalks. And you know what's even worse than that? I got short legs. So when I inevitably plummet into those puddles, my feet are transported into the worst dimension known to man. The wet sock dimension. And now I have to sit in this gross, soggy, wet ecosystem that's living in my shoe until I can get back home. But with Vessi, that's not even a problem you have to worry about, because Vessis are waterproof. They're not only protecting me from water, but they're protecting me from New York City puddle water. Plus, they're really cute, even if I just woke up and didn't feel like dressing up. If you want to get these specific ones, they're called the Boardwalk. So, if you want to banish the wet sock monsters into the underworld, you can go to vessi.com/CypherDen or click the link in the description down below for 15% off your order. That's vessi.com/CypherDen. Thanks again to Vessi for sponsoring this video. If you check your phone right now, what's your current screen time usage? Mine was an average of 6 hours and 43 minutes. And it really made me question, if I quit social media right now, what am I really missing out on? And before you say anything, no, I'm not quitting YouTube. So sit back down and listen. I've always given myself the excuse that I can never quit because I need to do research. I need to be up to date on what's relevant, the newest trends, news, memes, online drama, which new baddie Pete Davidson's dating. Anyways, one day I realized that my attention span was so garbage that it started to get a little concerning. I was struggling to do basic tasks, just constantly zoning out and falling into the rabbit hole of either YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Uber Eats, switching between apps and doom scrolling my existence away. The attention span of a goldfish is about 9 seconds long, while humans are now averaging at about 8.25 seconds. We're literally getting our ass handed to us by goldfishes. How are we even falling behind goldfishes? Like, look at them. Okay, this is a little embarrassing, but I might or might not have almost flooded my apartment because I turned on the faucet, blanked out, and walked away. In my defense, I was watching a really good K-drama, but I couldn't even finish a 3-step task. Let's be real, quitting social media is easier said than done. Alright, be honest, how many times have you deleted social media telling yourself, this is it, this is the final time, and when you do, you get that itch to check if anyone messaged you. Just one quick look. So you download the app again, and you're back to square one as if these apps have you in a chokehold. So I quit for 30 days plus. So on January 1st, 2023, I decided, new year, no new me, because honestly, the return policy to send me back into the room might be a little overdue. So I'm just gonna try to fix myself little by little. We'll see what happens. So how did I quit for 30 days plus? I knew for a fact that I always use my phone first thing when I wake up, scrolling for an hour before I even get out of bed. Putting my phone across the room made it impossible to stay in bed. One habit I have after waking up is making myself a hot cup of coffee. So instead of being on my phone while drinking my coffee, I decided I'm gonna read these books I told myself I was gonna read but never did because I never had the time to. So far in those 30 days plus, I've read about 3 books, which is an improvement since I've only read like half a book last year. The first week was the hardest. Going on my phone and clicking on social media felt like a habit that was just on autopilot. No thoughts behind it, just click for instant gratification. I caught myself trying to click on apps that I just deleted, so instead I downloaded different apps. I downloaded motivational apps and placed those where my social media apps used to be, just to remind myself why I'm doing this in the first place. I also downloaded a journaling app, so instead of screaming into the void of Twitter, I just journaled my thoughts. I also got an app called Freedom, which blocks apps and websites that are distracting you from your phone and computer. To quit, I had to find out what my reason was to be on social media in the first place. Was it work? Was it curiosity? Was it loneliness, boredom, the constant need to consume content, the great unknown, FOMO, also known as the fear of massive orcas? You can't really be afraid of missing out on things if you don't even know what you're quote-unquote missing out on. Like, you can't really even be jealous of things you don't even know exist. Or does it just come down to seeing likes and comments just to feel good about myself? To feel like I belong? Why do you think most social media apps have either taken off or never have a dislike button? Because it feels bad to get a dislike. These apps get you to come back time and time again by giving you rewards like new followers, likes, comments, and never-ending content. Social media apps are there to make you feel good, so you can spend more time on them. You really think they haven't introduced a dislike button for your own benefit? Yeah, I highly doubt that. They're out there hiring the top researchers to study the human brain and behaviors to get you to stay on social media longer. They don't care about you, they don't care about me, they just want your time. And I don't know if you've realized, but time is one of the most valuable things in life that you can never get back. How many projects or hobbies have you told yourself you don't have the time for? How many times have you felt like you haven't done enough in life? How many times in life have you felt like you're falling behind because you're comparing yourself to your friends' social media achievements? Pros and cons of quitting social media. Let's start with the cons. Okay, I have no idea what my friends are talking about. I have little to no clue what new random sound bites people are sounding off to.
Bombastic side-eye. Criminal offensive side-eye.
It definitely makes me feel like I'm out of the loop, like I'm an outcast that doesn't understand the jokes. I literally had to search up what Riz meant, and honestly, I could have probably gone my whole life without knowing. The friends you make along the way. Social media did help me when it came to making friends, because I'm no social butterfly. So without social media, no new friends, no new friends, no new friends. You expect me to go out there and talk to strangers? Like, no thank you, I'm not a psychopath. Memories. This is a little personal, but I kept my Facebook for the longest time because I would reread messages from my grandma and my uncle before they decided that they were just gonna peace out of this planet with no invites. Like, how rude. Before I deleted my Facebook, I screenshotted everything and downloaded the messages, but at the same time, I always feel like I might have missed something, which sucks. Anyways, the pros. My self-esteem is somehow higher. I like to pretend that I don't give a fuck about what other people think, especially strangers. But since diving into the world of social media, I've overanalyzed filters, captions, and somehow my face. Am I pretty enough? Interesting enough? Oh, someone called me fat. But they might be right because it's more than one person that said so. And this was a time that I was literally just skin and bones. I could literally see my ribs, but those comments still got to me. Did I start skipping meals because some idiots online thought I was a little chunky? I'm not proud, but yeah, I did. But after quitting social media, I don't really have that pressure. I could go out looking like a goblin and be fine, because no one's gonna come up to me going,
"Hey, you look fat and ugly and you suck."
And if they did, bite their leg off. Then what? Oh, sorry. Bite both their legs off so they can grovel for your forgiveness. Yeah, that makes sense. My attention span has also improved. I can just sit there and body the tasks that I need to do. I've gotten so much work done in the last 30 days that I can actually say that I'm proud of myself. Being more present with people I spend time with. Since I'm not always updated on my friends and family's daily activities or what they had for lunch, I have no idea what they're doing. So when I do see them, I feel like I'm more present and in the moment. I'm there instead of posting about being there. Real friends. I really thought about this, but does commenting and liking on someone's post really make you their friend? When really that's your only interaction with them? Would they notice if you disappeared off the face of the planet? Would they even care? Less screen time and more time to do other things. Since quitting, I started a couple of projects that I never had the time to do. Turns out I've always had the time for them, but I was just focused on the wrong thing. Thinking for myself. Social media has a problem with crowd mentality. How many of you have decided that Velma is the worst animated show ever without having even watched the show? In fairness, probably right, but I wouldn't know because I never watched it, which is kind of unfair to the amazing artists that worked on it because I never really gave it a chance. The truth is, we're always consuming other people's opinions on shows, on food, and heck, even reactions of reactions. And before you can even come up with an opinion on your own, you've already watched someone's opinion and all you can say is true. I'm somehow happier. Before quitting, I noticed that TikTok was sending me videos that kind of made me depressed. I could be watching a funny dog video and next thing I know, I'm suggested a video telling me that I'm having an existential crisis or telling me that I have childhood trauma that I didn't even know I had. Like, I know I'm sad sometimes, but I also don't need some teenager telling me that I have childhood trauma when I was having a perfectly fine day. And I don't know, TikTok just has a way of sending you videos swaying what you believe and sometimes even how you feel. For me, it's terrifying that an algorithm can mold you into something you're not, or the fact that an algorithm even has the power to make you feel a certain type of way. Without social media, I did notice that I'm significantly happier. And maybe it's because I stopped looking for validation from strangers online. Or the fact that I'm now getting constantly told by the algorithm that I have like 300 mental disorders. Or the constant videos telling you how the world's gonna end. Like, I know. Just stop reminding me.